Pam here from Yoga Physio. I'm going to take you through a little bit stronger warm-up with particular focus on loosening the shoulders. Okay, so we're going to begin on hands and knees. Hands a little bit ahead of the shoulders, a little bit wider than the shoulders. Nice and gently to begin, cat-cow. Feel the shoulder blades gliding on the back of the chest. As you arch the back, shoulder blades are broad and moving down. As you round the back, you let the shoulders come up to the ears. But keeping the shoulder blades separate so you get that real feeling of breadth across the back of the chest. And then on an exhale, we'll glide back to child pose. Exhale, child. Inhale, hands and knees, or you can unroll into up face puppy if that feels okay for your back. But again, I want the attention on the shoulder blades. So as you're coming forward into that arch back position, shoulder blades broaden down. And containing the shoulder blade movement as we move back into child pose. Now you can stay with that or tuck your back toes under and take the same focus into down face dog. Inhale, up face puppy. Exhale, down dog. Just really warming up the shoulders. And now staying in down face dog, swinging side to side. Just having a little curious explore. And relaxing down in child pose. Okay, so from hands and knees or from down face dog, we're going to step forward and bring the right leg on top of the left in Gomakasana. Okay, and you might like to sit on a little bit of height in Gomakasana. If Gomakasana is not possible, cross-legged sitting's fine. Okay, in Gomakasana, you don't need to have the knees together. Generally, more height will enable you to be more comfortable in the pose. Okay, now with the right leg on top, we're going to place the left hand on top of the right knee, right hand on the shoulder, left hand on the right shoulder. Okay, so I'm mirroring what you're seeing. Now we're just lifting the elbow, but not letting the shoulder lift. So there's a very gentle internal rotation in that shoulder joint. Okay, and releasing that arm. Stretch the left arm up, drop the hand behind the shoulder, assist the elbow up, back and down. Keep the ribs tucked in. Nice big breaths up into the chest. And release and twist to your right side. Gaze out over your back shoulder. Feeling the breath in the belly. quite nice here also just to loosen the neck by turning the head side to side. And then coming back to centre. Now this arm we're going to take behind the back now and just assist it round with the other hand and roll that right shoulder. Now that may be enough, but if you can comfortably take the hand up the back, we'll come into full Gomakasana. Okay, just be attentive. If the hands don't reach easily together, then I recommend you stay back with something simpler. Okay, taking the strap is not going to bring you the benefit. Okay, it accommodates or modifies the position, but it doesn't develop the capacity of that arm to come more easily behind the back. Okay, it's the rotation, that inward rotation, okay, that develops that capacity. And if that's a little bit tight, so we can work again with the arm in this way. It's our internal rotation. Okay, if it's tight, you'll get to there and the whole shoulder girdle will come forward. So just be attentive to what's happening. Some of you easily in Gomakasana, that's lovely. Okay, you can see when you're in it, the arm stays pretty much in the line of the trunk. And then we'll release those arms anyway and fold forward. Same thing if you're in Gomakasana. I think you can modify everything we're doing here for Gomakasana as well. Okay, let's inhale, come up and change the cross of the legs. If you like, sneak back into down dog. It's very graceful to come into it, in and out of it through down dog. Okay, so left leg on top now, or left leg in front in Sukhasana. A little shuffle. Okay, with left knee on top, left hand on left knee, right hand on left shoulder. And just start developing that awareness. Lifting the elbow without lifting the shoulder. That's the beginning of the internal rotation. Leaving that arm alone, reach the right arm up, hand behind the shoulder, assist the elbow up, back and down, keep those ribs tucked in. On an exhale, release and twist to the left. As you turn back to centre, bring that left hand behind the back, round to the side of the waist, roll the left shoulder. A really nice loosening, the tightness in the deep pectoral area that can limit us in this rotation. Okay, and then some of you easily slide the arm up the back into Gomakasana. If not, maybe coming back into developing that awareness of the range of movement. We don't need to stretch particularly the rotator cuff muscles that create the limitation here are small muscles. And we want to improve their function, not stretch them. We're just developing awareness. The range of movement will come. The first focus is always develop awareness. Okay, be aware, what's the point where that shoulder starts to raise up? You're no longer getting the benefit that isolating the rotator cuff brings. So seeing that's the action that brings the hand behind the back. Okay, and wherever you are now, releasing, folding forward. And inhale coming up. Now I'd intended this little warm-up sequence as a preparation for our Parivritti Parsvakanasana. So that standing sequence will be a separate video. But I'd like to lead on now anyway into something that's less of a warm-up, but again a nice preparation for that Parivritti Parsvakanasana and a nice pose in itself. And that's the modified Ardha matsyendrasana. So maybe just have a little stretch back into your down dog again. Maybe swing through that vinyasa. Let's get the circulation moving through the shoulders. And then coming back around, back into our gomakasana with the right leg on top. So let's have a look at Ardha matsyendrasana because the principles here carry through to our Parivrti Parsvakanasana. Okay, going to bring that right foot flat on the floor and right knee into the midline. So this is the first focus, hip mobility. We want to be able to draw that knee in without losing the contact of the sitting bone on the floor. Okay, it's a bit of a play for quite a few years. Okay, so first focus is the hip movement. Second focus is the thoracic rotation. Okay, so can you get the shoulders also into the midline? Okay, and that might be where you stop. That might be enough. Okay, so hip mobility, thoracic mobility, and it's only really when that shoulder comes beyond the knee that you've got this internal rotation to bring the hand into the bind. So the modified version, the hand sneaks through the leg, okay, fingers popping up back, okay, and a little bit of assistance. I'm really getting quite tightly tucked in there, and then I'm going to push that arm through the leg gently, and then my left hand takes my right hand or right wrist, and I lift the chest, press the knee outward to open into the pose. Of course, the full, actually it's a Marychyasana when the leg's actually in Padmasana. But this is a fairly accessible twist. And, you know, once you get there, it is really a beautiful stretch, you know, or lengthen out through the shoulders. Press that knee out into the arm, kind of tractions that whole arm bone in the socket. So if you're tight, it's really lovely if you can get there. If you're loose in the shoulders, if you've got laxity issues, then you don't want to push this. This isn't the pose for you. You want to focus more on strength. You'll look very beautiful in this pose because it'll come very easily, but it won't bring you the benefits that keep you strong. Okay, so we'll release out of that bound position. Have another little forward bend in gomakasana. So the idea of the forward bend in gomakasana is to help to bring more opening in the hips. Okay, so we'll inhale, come up. If you like, back to down dog and coming to your second side. Okay, bring that left foot upright. First focus, drawing the knee in without lifting the hips. I can get my thumb in the groin there. Okay, never push in. If you get groin pain in these Parivritti poses, Parivriti, Parsvakanasana, and these deep twists, then don't push into that. That's not a good sensation. Okay, you need to put the focus on other things. And sometimes you need an assessment maybe to determine what the cause of that pinching is, but there's no such thing as good groin pain. Okay, second focus, thoracic rotation. Can you rotate around to get the shoulders also into that midline? Not forcing, just checking what's available. After a few breaths there, if you've got the shoulder beyond the knee, then you bring the arms at right angles, pressing the arm down and threading it through the knee. A little bit tighter in my hip this side. Can't get quite so deeply into it, but I get enough into it that I, can really then enjoy the opening for the hip and the shoulder. Lifting the chest, pressing that knee back out, increase the twist, and relaxing into it, really enjoying it. Remembering, if you're tight, you just focus on that thoracic twist. Okay, you don't need to do the bind, you just keep working on that twisting until the body's open enough. Okay, and of course we can work back with the shoulders to work on the shoulder rotation separately. Yeah, not going to get deeper into that today. That's tighten that right hip. Okay, I quite like this hugging the leg in position as well. Okay, let's inhale back to centre, folding forward. Okay, so before we come out and finish our little warm up there, so just a review of the rotation in the arm. Okay, so we've got many neutral positions. We've got neutral with arms by the side, outward rotation, inward rotation. Okay, my hands get in the way for the inward, so I'm going a little wider. Okay, and that's our chicken dance position. Okay, but the first thing is, can you get the internal rotation enough without dropping the shoulders? So even to bring the hands on the hips and bring the elbows forward, oh, it's really hard work to keep those shoulders back. But again, it's all a lovely way to warm the shoulders up, to work more deeply into some of the deeper poses. That was cactus arms, scarecrow arms, okay, shoulder blades glued into the back of the chest. Oh, see, I don't get very far when I'm really strict with that scapula. Okay. But working in this way will bring much more benefit. We'll be really curious about where the movement's coming from. Okay, not thinking, not kidding ourselves with our compensations. Okay, let's have one last little stretch out in down dog, and then maybe you're going to move on to some other sequences, or you can finish there and just leave that as a nice little shoulder sequence. Plenty of good stuff for the shoulders there. Okay, well, fantastic. Have a fantastic time until I see you again, and yeah, namaste.